Hello, everyone. Sorry, we were fighting some technical gremlins as my hero Jack has mentioned. Hello, welcome to today's live with Red.Diva, and sorry for the slight problem just now. We hope that this is going smoothly now. I'm broadcasting all the way from my lady cave to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Please join us as we have a 1 hour chat with my guest. And I've been doing this for quite a while. I've been doing this for quite a while. I started during the pandemic and been doing live with Diva, focusing on Southeast Asian creators. I've been blogging on entertainment and lifestyle for many years, I think about 11 years or so. I've been doing that as a hobby. I'm not getting paid for all this, so I'm just enjoying myself, connecting with people. That was the best takeaway from all these. And of course, there are some perks here and there, but you can't compare with getting to know the people around you creating stuff, either locally or abroad in Southeast Asia and so on. So I decided to focus on creators in Southeast Asia because I felt that there was not enough spotlight on our talented people around this region. And usually when you talk about Asia, they're always focusing on people in China, Japan, or Korea, but not many people know about the Southeast Asian talent we have here. So I've been doing that or doing this live stream for a while, and I used to do it monthly. But since after COVID, because kind of one of the thing, and as the economy has been opening up, people has gone back to their lives, been busy, working full time for a while as well. So decided to do that. Maybe hopefully once in 2 months. But if I can get an interesting guest, of course, I'll do that even more regularly. And I'm so glad that I have my guest today who's willing to join me for an hour chat so that you can get to know more about our local cosplayers. And his name is Crixtopher Cruz Lee. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. All good, all good. Let's
Um,
go ahead and embarrass ourselves.
yeah, I think there's a bad connection on my mic. So, sorry about that. I can't fix it somehow. I
No
realized
problem.
it was during it could be the wiring. Is this still better? Is better or bad? Or worse?
Yeah.
Is it okay? When it's broadcasted, it's kind of like fixing it. Is that better?
Yeah.
Better? Okay. I mean, well, I hope that's a slightly better sound coming through. I need to get new devices, I suppose. If not, then you'll be hearing lovely Christopher's voice more than mine.
Well, the Apple AirPods wouldn't want to pair with my Windows, so let's hope both of us, the microphone is still working.
All right. Tell us more about yourself, Christopher, and introduce to the listeners out there and the audience. How long have you been cosplaying? And
Wow. Actually, cosplaying started quite a while back when we were kind of dressing up for Halloween parties. So that started the trend by, we're just dressing up for fun so that we can get free entries, like into the places that, nightclubs and all that kind of thing. So after it became it became a yearly affair. And then after that, it was like, oh, okay, full on, straight on. Let's do something different, right? Let's pick up lives. Let's do something worthwhile. And yet at the same time, not letting people know who we are. So that was the main goal of it. Like it's not important who you are, but what you do. Right. So we don't want credits, we don't want anything. We just want to just give back to the society and do something good.
how
So that's how
many
we all started out. Yeah.
how many of you in this group?
Originally we had about three of us. We started out, and then we kind of we pitched out. We had the ideas of dressing up and picking up the children's that are fighting um, chronic illnesses and diseases, and you know, they might be in critical health conditions and all that kind of thing. So initially, like the hospitals were thinking that we were a bunch of jokes, right? Like, are we even serious about this, right? And then I said, well, I mean, you got nothing to lose, right? It's free. We're not charging you. We're just asking you to just give us a chance to come in and you know, do our rounds. We cheer people up. It, you know, give them opportunities to take photos, interact with their superheroes and whoever they, you know, they wish to see, and then they can put up the requests like any superheroes that you want to see or any like role models that you want to meet and greet and all that kind of thing. And then the first one that came in was KKH, KK Hospital. So
Mm.
then again, we started. We got roped in, and everything became like a frequent thing until COVID hit. Then we took a halters for about 2 years, and now we're resume again. So we're very happy to be part of this initial like volunteer spearheading volunteer project. Yeah.
Yeah. Since you're talking about the Mandalorian though for today's session, so I suppose you're a huge fan of Star Wars.
Yeah. As you can see.
And when was the, like different people entered, nice, like, different people enter Star Wars universe in different points of
Right.
the
Yeah.
franchise. So where do you first, what's your entry point?
Wow, the entry point was I'm gonna give away my age, but anyway. The original Star Wars, which is you know, A New Hope, you know, and then we have the Return of the Jedi and all that. So I started watching Star Wars when I was growing up because my brother was crazy over the movies, and they were watching it over and over again on the TV and on the VHS and whatever you have. So
Yeah,
then after it came all the toys, right? So being a boy, and then we're growing up, and nothing intrigues you more than toys, right? So started going to the departmental stores, and we were copying all the Kenner toys, and you know, the X wings to the figurines to everything, and then it started from there. So I became a Star Wars fan actually. Of course, along the way there was like, you know, Star Trek and all that, but
just says it's fun to hear how people became Star Wars fans. It's true.
yeah. So Star Trek out of the picture, yeah, only Star Wars,
We watched the original trilogy on
the
Laserdisc.
original. Yeah.
Oh my god, Laserdisc, long time ago.
Yeah, I actually bought the whole collection of you know, VCDs, and then after they launched the DVDs, and then I like, should I? And okay, just buy it again because the
Yeah,
VCDs became obsolete, right? Same with the VHS,
yeah, I know, right? All
and
these
then the
devices,
laser disc. Yeah, that's right.
you buy them, you can't use them because you can't find the device players anymore.
Yeah, that's right, right. And then
Um,
it was such a waste.
I I was one of, I mean, again, giving away my age. Yeah, I remember watching New Hope with my dad in the old Odeon Theatre in 1977. Yeah, I was 10. And so
Yeah,
it hurts me, right, when generally guy fans tend to ask me like, hey, what are you doing here? Are you somebody's wife or girlfriend? I got that even in Star Wars Celebration. It's
oh
like,
my goodness.
are you someone's, then I was like, oh, someone what? And then it's like, are you someone's wife or a girlfriend? And I was like,
Oh,
oh, I'm a fan, a Star Wars fan. Oh, so you're a Star Wars fan. Like, stop this mansplaining thing. I think it gets quite annoying because I've been like a Star Wars fan since the beginning. And I think you shouldn't judge that women are not fans of Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever the sci-fi series maybe. I think that's
yes.
my main it gets me really like going to send people mode.
Yeah, the
Um,
irony, right?
yeah,
When those years we were all like looking forward to the future, or you know, like space and all that kind of thing.
yeah,
And right now is a nostalgia where we are revisiting the past.
yeah. Um, you had this very awesome Din Djarin costume, and that's the reason why we're talking about, the Mandalorian and cosplay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell us more about this costume. Like, what made you decide to even do this cosplay in the beginning? Like what put you on? Because it's not an easy cosplay to wear, right? Where do you get the costume? Things like
Okay,
this.
we
You know,
first start out with yeah, we want to do something that is modern and then that it's up to date, right? So rather than you pull something from the past like Boba Fett and all that, right? So because now Star Wars has evolved and it's gone beyond the prequels and the sequels and all that. So kids nowadays, it might be like what the original trilogy was to us, right? So we wanted an up to date Star Wars costume that can relate to the current day and time of the kids that they're growing up. So this will be their childhood thing. And then it started out with like, okay, walk past, and then we saw like, okay, there was a Hasbro Black Series. I'm like, hey, helmet looks cooler. Okay, I'll just buy first, like, maybe use it as a display kind of thing. So I didn't really think that I will actually complete it. I didn't really initially, all right. And then after I roped in like friends who are in the 501, and then they gave me a, you know what, that helmet's not approved. I like, no way, seriously. I say, yeah. You got to have everything like, as close of, to the movie set as possible. Like, oh damn. So how do I do this? I mean, like back then we were messing around with Jedi ropes, and I got a lot of lightsabers and all that, right? So and then they hooked me up, they roped me in, and then it was like that's it, stuck. It was a journey all the way already. So of course I got help with from Teen and my old pal Tyrene. Then I met Kim and Dom during the KKH volunteer appreciation time, and then we shared a lot, and then we started chatting until we went way past the appreciation event, and then we were just standing right outside and chatting and chatting and chatting about Star Wars, everything about Star Wars. So yeah, as the photo sees, like, it's all being done. The fitting is being done. The measurements are being done. So it's custom fit to actually, you know, I can pull it off exactly and I look the best in it. So it's only meant for me. Yeah, they're all bunch of very nice, loving people, and that's how I gotten deeper into the Star Wars journey. So this whole costume was actually put together by 556 Studios with the help of Tim and the gang down there. And
mm.
so it took a long time to be fabricated. You know, um,
How long
yeah.
was
So I believe that good things must wait.
how long was it? Like you said, it took a
We're
long
talking
time.
of more than a year.
More than
So yeah, more than a year. So you have the unofficial Mando costume and the gunning for the official Mando costume to join 501. Eventually, I'll get there, guys. Sorry. Yeah.
and the black saber, the dark saber
The
that
dark
you have.
saber was a combination of kit sabers that helped put it together.
Mm.
The hilt and then the blade was a different blade, so we got it from like Vader's vault and all that. And then so it's kind of complicated. So if you're talking about you're looking to piece together a Din Djarin costume that is cheap, there's no way you can do it because yeah, you can save your pocket, but you will not look as fantastic and good, right?
Okay.
So if you want like the full deal, we are talking about you're willing to splurge, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think I want to scare anybody with the figures right here, but all those in the Star Wars cosplayers, I think you would know how much it would actually cost to put it together. And then we are
I
talking
mean,
about genuine, hey,
no, I've always wondered about this though, because you guys spend a lot of money on your
a
cosplaying.
lot of money, a lot of time, and of course investment in yourself because you can't really deter too far from your measurements on the initial stage where they are taking your measurements, right? And then
Yeah.
they're fabricating the parts all together. And then it's like when they are finally ready, and then you let yourself go free, right, with your diet plan, and that's it. You're not gonna fit it anyway, and then you're like, oh shit, you're screwed again, and then you have to wait all over again, right? So either you force yourself to fit into it, or you make a new one and wait again. Yeah.
That's
So
with a lot of sweat and you wear it.
definitely, man. Just the flight suit, you sweat a lot already, buckets already. And then we got Joey. Joey is a very, very nice, very skilled what you call seamstress, and she gets all the fabrics and all the yeah, she pieced everything together, right? And then when I told her about this, right, she was, "Are you sure, dude?" Then I'm like, "Yeah." But there's no other way. The flight suit is the base of the costume, right? And she's like, oh, good luck to you, man. You're gonna sweat buckets in, especially in Singapore weather. I like bo pian, I swim my mia. So you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Then
Yeah, I
I
can
asked her, of course, like funny idea, like
see the Anthony Daniels problem.
Anthony Daniels problem.
Stay exactly the same size for 40 years.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So I actually talked to her about modifying whether we can fit in like ventilation fans and all that, like built-in battery operated fans inside the flight suit or whatever. And then it's like, I don't think so.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just pray for the place to have aircon. That's about it, lah. Other than that, we just bite the bullet, man. Just bite the bullet. Yeah.
Um, so is that the most challenging costume that you have done or worn so far, the Din Djarin one?
You talk about because of different parts and fabrics, right? Yes, probably so. Probably so because we've got like um we got like Batman. Batman has a mixture of spandex with muscle suit foam, uh, and we talk about 3D prints, and then you got to fit the mask on for Batman, and then Batman wasn't doing very well for COVID and pre-COVID and
Mhm.
post-COVID because either how you still need to wear the mask over, so it was quite pointless to do Batman during that point of time. So what fits is just Star Wars helmets, full straight on Stormtrooper, whatever, and just go right and troop around.
Yeah, yeah. So which is the most like most
At the
challenging one?
moment, at the
At, at,
moment is at the moment is Mando. At the
mm,
moment is Din Djarin, yeah, because we got the flag suit, we got the leather, we got to do the leather craft. Then we
wow.
got to do the weapons, and then we got to and then we got to do the paint work, and then we got to do the cape. The cape is a different material, and we got to get the shoes and all that all custom. And then some you might not be able to get it locally. You might have to get it from the US, so we have to get it imported and all. And yeah, it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. Yeah.
And I suppose it's in the process of being approved. You will file first.
Yeah, it's in the process of being approved. Is a long process. So well, that's something I really admire about the 501. They, stringent, but yeah, I mean, you get as it's as real as it gets.
Yeah,
When you
close.
see these guys, yeah, when you see these guys, you kind of like gotta give it to them, man. Kudos. They spend a lot of time, a lot of patience, I reckon, right? And braving the heat and the weather, and but yeah, all in the name of good fun and loyal fan base of
That's
Star Wars.
inspire that bunch of people for all
Yeah,
the everybody in Star Wars fandom. I think they sacrifice a lot of their time.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So you gotta really give it to them and respect them for that. Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about the truth, almost close to actual costumes. I mean, even in the Mandalorian first season, right? John
Yeah,
Favreau has looked in the file first from I think was it in California or something that they were
that's
actually
right.
part. They were part
Yeah,
of
that's right.
stormtroopers because the costumes were so good.
Yeah, that's right. You see, so really, you gotta really appreciate these guys for putting a lot of passion and a lot of their time and their hard-earned money into a hobby, right?
Yeah, it's not just
Yeah.
a hobby for them. It's also like giving back to the
Yes,
community.
that's right. That's
I
right.
mean, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the same any Star Wars event, let's say or May the Fourth or any premiere, it just wouldn't be the same if they weren't there. They just add to that dimension where you kind of immerse yourself and forget that you're actually in the current real world and enter into this galaxy
Yeah, that's
somehow.
right. That's right. We just need a little bit of a little bit of escape from reality sometimes, right? So that you can realize that there's more to life.
I think Star Wars fandom though is really kind of like all consuming. I don't know. It's been so much part of my life for so long. And I kind of like identify myself like, okay, I'm a Star Wars fan. And even sometimes like recently at a company, kind of like staff meeting introduction, and then they say like, oh, can tell us a little bit about yourself. And I say, okay, this is my name, and I'm a Star Wars fan. To stop. And then everybody like who don't understand about fandom, right, kind of like stare at me and like, dot. What does it mean?
Oh man, that must have been an awkward moment.
Super awkward. Yeah,
Eh, j-
I mean, that's really it, Jet. That's when reality is just it just strikes you that not many people are that into pop culture, but the people that I interact constantly with, out of work and in my life are mostly pop culture people. So sometimes I
Yes.
can get that, but it's so hard to divorce myself from this. It's part of my life for so long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So same thing. Like I can't give up on the hobby of like like action toys, collections of toys and all that kind of thing. And then when recently when we had to move, I moved house. So then I realized, oh, shit, how much stuff I have in the vault, right? And then I'm like, oh wow, all these classics are all still there, right? And then it's like, okay, note to self, don't stop buying, but it's impossible because when we start seeing new stuff coming out, and then it's just like, oh, that's so nice. Oh no, the sculpt is so good, right? And then it's like, okay, you just start buying all the Star Wars toys again. So you
Oh,
might go to Funko Pop, you might go to like Hasbro, Kenner, back to Kenner. Kenner is coming back again, and they're remaking all the old classics as well.
I know,
And
right?
then and then I'm also a Lego fan, so I buy all the Lego Star Wars and all that. I was like, oh no, no, like where am I gonna put all these stuff, right? Then I
The
said, never
problem
mind, make space.
is I would love to, have a better collection, but I've stopped myself because of space, and the
Yeah,
only thing
exactly. Yeah, and then Singapore, the houses are getting smaller and smaller,
Lego
right?
mini pieces. Although I couldn't resist getting this guy at
Oh, the
Star Trek.
pork, pork soup. You should make pork soup.
Yeah, pop so.
Wait,
Um,
Jet was asking. The Jedi was asking which bat suit. Oh, I have the Ben Affleck one. Batman versus Superman. That's the bat suit that was. I that's the one that I went for.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
reality is not often fun. Yep, true enough. I can't agree more. Friends told me when you move. Yeah, bear in mind how much toys you think you have. Yeah, yeah.
difficult to believe.
Lego, I just keep them all in the boxes still. I mean, I didn't dare take them out. Although it's like I was so tempted, right? And I had the mindset or idea, the R2D2, the life
Oh my
size with with Yoda, and then we have Grogu, and we have the BB-8,
God,
all these life size, right? So actually, I had the mind of building them and then putting them at my door entrance.
yeah.
So it's either like put them at the door entrance and risk being stolen, or I just reduce the space around the shoe rack area where when you put on your shoes or when guest comes and then they accidentally kick the damn thing and then it breaks into pieces again. Yeah,
Efficiency.
so like in the end, I just put off the idea of whether I'm gonna fulfill and see that through or not.
I think a lot of people, I mean, the Westerners don't understand how space constraint we have here. Uh, you,
Try telling a fanatic
you
that.
don't have
Try telling a fanatic that. I mean, like we always say, we will make space. I don't care. We will make space. As it is now, with all the costumes that I have, with the accessories and all that kind of thing, they're all in suitcases. I'm sure that many of the guys can relate to this. They have having suitcases all over the house, and it's like, well, you travel a lot, right? Yeah, I travel a lot to different realities. Yeah.
those who are just joined us. Sorry if my mic isn't working very, very well today. It just somehow went like weird. but you will be able to hear Christopher's lovely voice most of the time. I'll try to ask more questions so that he can speak more. Thanks for sharing about the Din Djarin costume. I think that was really interesting. How long it takes and how much it costs. And let's now talk about the Mandalorian series. Okay? So
Right.
I've been trying to you know, share or recap or talk about my views concerning the Mandalorian series. It
Are you
just
still
ended.
rewatching it?
No, we watched it. Uh, but season three just ended recently.
Yeah, many of us having withdrawals, but yeah,
Each time I was in London for Star Wars celebration, and I
lucky.
watched it when I came back. What do you think about season three as a whole,
Well,
Jennifer?
I honestly, I love every single episode, not just down to season three. I mean, I do rewatch it uh quite often. Like even I'll go back to season one, I'll revisit from the beginning and all that. So yeah, I mean, you can see that the story is actually expanding out. There's a lot more like action, right? There's not just
Yes.
dialogue and everything. I mean, in the beginning there was a lot of dialogue because it was build up of the character and everything. But you can actually see that yeah, it is really expanding very nicely into a little Mandalorian universe kind of thing where you have more than just Din Djarin.
Yeah.
And I think that the plot is gonna go beyond just Din Djarin. It's gonna go beyond to like even Bo-Katan and the rest of the characters that are actually appearing and they're so a lot of attention will be just Mandalorian based as a race on a whole
Yeah.
rather than just one person.
Yeah. I think that John Favreau has mentioned that would be the case for.
Yeah, it'll be the case because it's slowly moving to that. And then I don't know if anyone has noticed, like towards the end of season three, the attention was not really just on Din Djarin. Really, it was just a build up of Bo Katan's character and the rest of the Mandalorians in
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't like season three,
Well,
but yeah,
I kind of like have mixed feelings in a sense. It's like, yeah, I mean, what Jet says. A lot of people didn't like season three, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I think there were some really good guest spots. I think I feel the
yeah,
same way. It wasn't the worst ever, but I have to say the first season was the one that kind of caught my heart more.
yeah. Of
Because
course, because it's a character build up. Yeah,
Daddy and Grogu.
that's
Uh,
right. Yeah,
the little journeys that they have along the way, I think that was very emotional and very lovable in the sense. Season two really wasn't my favorite somehow. Season three was interesting, especially becoming from um, a, your crossover from the animation series
right,
to uh, the Mandalorian season three. You
right.
tend to see where your beloved characters have progressed from there. Clone Wars,
Exactly.
especially.
Yeah,
So I was really interested to see Bo Katan's journey
right.
post Clone War, and then it was good to see how she battled, with her own feelings of like what else can she do since everything she has done has failed so far, and hasn't been really a very good. She didn't manage to progress with building up Mandalore again, and I think it was good to see that they are able to come to a positive outcome,
Yeah,
uh, and be able to probably Mandalore is going to come up as one of the um, interesting kind of like side story to the whole entire franchise. Maybe it will come up as a key point again in the new Ray series, I suppose, because it's set in the future.
that's
So
right.
yes, the Mandalore has regained their strength in terms of race, as you say, and kind of like their own country. So that will be interesting to watch. Um, on the other hand, I kind of miss the intimate moments with the daddy, Yana Grogu. It got kind of lost in all these very exciting political outcomes and battles. So I was kind of like, I was kind of in between.
Yeah, because I mean,
Well,
we gotta give it to them because I don't think it's easy to to just focus on one
Yeah,
character. If it's supposed to be one character, then it will be like Din Djarin the Mandalorian,
yeah,
right? So, but the title is it's the Mandalorian itself. So I reckon that it's more of like, yes, there's a main lead, and then there's a whole bunch of other cast involved, and all that, and it has to evolve somewhere down the line. If not, I think we are pretty much done with Din Djarin's character. From, I mean, in my opinion, don't fault me for that, but yeah, I feel that if you just want to focus on Din Djarin's character, it could be done within one season, and that was it. But other than that, I think if they want to keep the story and the series going, they have to go in a different direction, and expand the Mandalorian universe kind of thing. So of course, I mean, everything has, it doesn't have to be based on like sense or reality, because it's, after all, it's just show, right? I mean, a lot of people are faulting this, like, how can you just um like crash a whole ship into into the surface, and then you jump out unscored, right? And all that kind of thing. And then how, like, like Din Djarin lost all his weapons, and then at the end he can defeat the Moff Gideon with random weapons that he picked up from along the way, right? And all that lah. So I mean, yes, a lot of fans are actually shooting a lot of theories back and forth, but then again, I told them, like, it's all for the entertainment factor. It's all for the, for the show. You don't have to really go into it like so seriously, right? Just enjoy the, how it's made, how it's being, telecast to us, and we just have to watch it as a whole. So it's all for entertainment purposes. Don't follow it like so strongly. And then uh so there has been hints of like different factions of Mandalorians around. So probably in the beginning of oh well, towards the end of season 3, Bo-Katan has actually united a few factions of it, but I'm still very sure that there are other factions that are not for the unification. They are probably working for the Empire and all that kind of thing,
yeah.
because there
That's
was a hint of some people breaking Moff Gideon out of the transport,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
It's
then they suspected that it's Bresca, so it has to be a hint of, like, Mandalorians that bend that way, that they support the Empire.
a mystery
So
spy.
yeah, so it's a lot of mystery going around. So we only can wait and see, and let's just enjoy and wait for season 4.
What are you looking forward to season 4? Then? What are you
Well,
looking for?
probably, you'll be probing deeper into, like, was Moff Gideon a clone? There was a lot of question, right? Like, at the last part, like, how come he got no mustache, that kind of thing, whether he's a clone, he's not a clone, and are they
He's
getting too
just
yeah,
dead.
right? And then are they getting too ridiculously, like, strong, where how can they steal the Mandalorian tech, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and custom made their own Beskar armor and all that kind of shit, right? And then
yeah.
how could he, yeah, break and destroy the dark saber, right? It was like such a
That's
sacred, yeah, right? So, and just like that, he just crushed the dark saber, right?
working
So
like
so yeah, I will look forward to the next one, where they actually show them, like, it takes more than just looking like us, and having our, the Bresca armor to take us down. So Mandos are, born and bred bounty hunters from young. So they're gonna show them a thing or two when season 4 comes out.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something I look forward to.
I'm actually looking forward to that Katie O'Brien's character, Elia Kane, the one that was somehow made like a, they are trying to retrain, no, I don't know what call it, re-brainwash those officers that they caught, right? Imperial officers to the rebellion. And she's kind of like still acting as a spy. So
Yeah, that's right. See, so
her character is really very interesting. I do like her portrayal as like kind of like sneaky in between, that's like true evil, man. So I really wish that they actually progress a little bit more about the character in season 3, but I'm hoping that there will be definitely more of her in season 4. She's such a super interesting character. And the other thing that I was kind of looking forward to is I wonder if Dave Filoni and John Favreau inserting Zap from Star Wars Rebels, right, is kind of an indication that more of these characters are going to come by, and Ahsoka coming up as a series as well with Sabine inside
Yep,
would
that's right.
see that somehow cross over to the Mandalorian series season 4, and find out what has been happening to her home country or after this last finale from season 3. That would be interesting to see as
And I
well.
hope they bring back Finnick
Yeah,
Lashat or Finnick Shot from yeah, I mean Din was having a good partnership with her in sometime in season 2 as well,
mm.
right? So I
Just
hope they bring that character back as well.
I know, right? Just as I think at some point they struggle to justify having Goku still be there. I know, right? He
Well,
becomes a
Grogu is still like what we call the light-hearted part of the whole
yeah.
series. I mean, you got to have some clean, funny moments. I like him in the IG, and then no, no, yes, yes, yes. So that was quite comical as well. And then
So
yeah, so,
Goku is supposed to be really young, right? For his species, he's kind of like
yeah,
unusual species at this point, and he's
that's
supposed to
right.
be very young, even though he was about 50 years old or so, and he can't speak, right? Can't speak
Yeah,
yet.
can't speak
So
yet.
now, season 4, is there going to be a time jump? And are we going to see something like what they did with Groot? As in, like, will there be a teenager Grogu? Or will there be a, baby Grogu forever and ever? I think at some point, right, he has to be shown growing up, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if
That
he's
will
growing up, that means he will earn his own armor as well,
be
right? So it'll be interesting to see him in a Mando armor,
right.
and then
Exactly.
learning to the skills of combat and all that kind of thing. And but he has an advantage. He can use the Force,
Yes.
so he's a very good Force user. He's a very strong Force user for his age. I think. Yeah, I think he has an advantage over most warriors where they lack off, because Mando is all about armory and weapons and all that, and of course hunting, right? Yeah, but he has an unfair advantage where he can use the Force, and he gains that advantage right there.
Yeah. No, I think
So it'll be
he
interesting. I wouldn't know, but I still think that you should keep him like
cute.
little. So there's some kind of there's a vulnerable point where you can actually have the upper hand of taking down Din Djarin or the whole Mando race, where they hunt the younglings and all that kind of thing. I mean, just per se. I mean, it might go in a different direction. Yeah, but my opinion, I think he's kind of cute that way, and yeah, just leave him there, and then as it is.
Um, and just continue about the Katie O'Brien, right? She seems like someone who was cast based on her physical appearance, which happens with a lot of supporting characters in something like Star Wars. But she wound up acting really well. Uh,
Yeah.
I first noticed her in a indie zombie series that's not The Walking Dead, and she appeared in the last couple of seasons, and she caught my eye. And then she seems to be appearing in a lot of other franchises that and in Ant-Man as well, in the
Yep,
last
that's right.
movie. And I think that's because she's really getting. I think she's moving up, catching a lot of people's eyeballs. That's why she's getting all these roles. I do really think she has she's got something special compared to a lot of like side characters out there. So I'm free to see a lot more about Eli Kane in the coming.
Yeah, I
Uh,
hope to see more of her too. Actually, yeah, Jet is correct about she's pretty good in acting. I kind of like her role as well. So we hope to see more of her in maybe the upcoming seasons, right? Yeah,
and now let's segue about the charity work. Let's talk about the
my
charity
cherry.
with your your other buddies, doing charity work while you're in cosplay. Um, Tell us more about how the group progressed and how do you manage to get all these calls from people who want to experience there to at least some cheer to the children. How did it get started? Uh, and you know
um,
how is
yeah.
it going?
So it started with Yeah, it started with the hospital. Of course, there are people that outreach to us, like, on when we are in costume, and then they come up to us and say, hey, do you do like um, corporate events? Do you do like a meet and greet? Do you do like private birthday parties and all that kind of thing? So to us, right, we don't really that just agree straight away. We will kind of filter. So there was a filtering process. I said, okay, here's an email, you hook us up, or here's a WhatsApp, because we're in costumes and we don't have our phones, we don't have anything with us,
Yeah, yeah.
and or either that the minder that comes along with us and helps to take care of us, guide us along the way, make sure that we don't bump into things or people don't bump into us or cause a commotion and kind of thing. Um, they will actually represent us, so they kind of know what to say and how to filter, because some there are just not genuine. They just want to take advantage of something that it's something
Yeah.
good. But there are genuine cases where we have like poor families. They just want to do something special for the kid because the kid is a big fan, right? So there are considerations of that, and we actually, well, the worst one, we actually appeared in the public beach at East Coast Park because this Malay family couldn't. Well, they're not well to do, and they wanted to do something special for the kid. So the kid actually requested for, do you have Spider-Man in your repertoire? I say yes, we do have a few Spider-Mans. They say yeah, because he's a big fan of Spider-Man. I say, okay, well, let me speak to Spider-Man and let's see whether he's willing to do it or not, right? So after I asked a few guys, I like, hey, you guys want to do it? And then I said, what is this for? Well, it's for not a well-to-do family, and they want to, just make the kids special. And I said, okay, let's do it. I said, okay, where will you be? Oh, we are in the grass patch area somewhere in front of Jumbo Seafood at East Coast Park. I like, okay, so how do we get there? So okay, so we dressed up like almost half costume, right? And then we went in the car. Then we had one minder. I said, hey, emergency, I need a minder right there because it's a public area, and then we are definitely gonna cause a commotion, right? And then yeah, so we went there, and then we bought a cake. We bought like a few Spider-Man mementos just out of our own pockets, and we gave it to the kid as a birthday present, right? And he was really really happy, and it was like a birthday time out with Spidey. So
Mm.
well, we played we kicked around a bit of ball with him, and on the sand we went into the water. So yeah, we sacrificed the costumes for a bit. So we went into the seawater, and then we got sand all over the place, and it was just really really uncomfortable. And then after, we had to have the whole car cleaned out as well. But it was all worth it, because when they actually smile and they light up, and then they remember it, and it was like part of a very important point of their childhood. I hope they will remember that, hey, when I was little, Spider-Man came and spent some time with me. And then the family was very very grateful, and it's the time that that they're sincere, because they said, we don't have much, can we just give you a token, but in installments. And I was like, no, okay, you know what, we're not going to take anything at all, really. We're just really happy to be here, and we're just happy to answer a kid's request. And then that's part of it. And then the other part is that, as experienced cosplayers, you really need to know how to handle kids when they ask you questions. So for example, like when we were there, like hey, Spider-Man, can you climb the tree? Hey, can you shoot your webs? Can you swing around, right? So we have to tell them when we are in character. We can't just brush them off. We can't, hey, don't be stupid or whatever, right? So we have to be Spider-Man. So we have to reply in a Spider-Man manner, where we just said, hey, it's not cool if we do this, right? The cops will come, and you don't want Spider-Man to get into trouble, right? Then they're like, yeah. So I say, yeah. So I don't think it's a good idea to actually shoot the web. And then, like, I'm supposed to be here with you guys. Why would I want to be in a tree? Right? Then they, yeah, can you swing around? I said, yeah, but here there's no buildings to swing around to, right? And buildings have security. So you don't want the security to take photos and then send it to the police, and then we get into trouble, and the last thing you know is Spider-Man getting into trouble, right? Oh yeah. And then now when we have like three of us, we have different costumes, right? So some will be Tom Holland, some will be Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's character, and then some would be Tobey Maguire, the original Spider-Man, right? And then they say, which one are you? Oh, I'm Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3, right? So we need to really know how to reply them in character and not to actually diss them off or turn them down or make them disappointed. So we don't want to tarnish that character's image, right? So when you are cosplaying as Mando or as a stormtrooper or as, you got to be in character. So it's like I seen some videos on the Disney campus, right? When they visit, so they are in character. So the stormtroopers there, they put on a show, right? And then of course sometimes you're like, hey, can we see your ID? I do not have an ID. You know, we need to see ID. Okay, we do not need to see ID. So they're like, okay, being manipulated by the force or something like that, right? So they are really in character. So I think it's very important that you need to know when you are in a cosplay and you are going to, especially handling people or kids, that you need to remember that you are in character. So don't break away from that too much, because we don't want somebody to be spoiling it for us, right? I mean, we don't want to be like thinking that, oh, you know, this Power Ranger is pink Power Ranger. You're expecting a Chobu or Kimberly right there. And then when you pull off the mask, hey, how come it's a guy? Bloody hell, you know, there goes my childhood, right? Like shit, you know. I give up on this bloody thing. No, I don't want to do it anymore. So I always advise most cosplayers to just remember what to say and what not to say. And then especially when we do hospital visits and we visit the clinics and the wards. So some of them are like, you know, critical and you know, there's yeah, that's Iron Man and Spider-Man. There's some of the, because we have requests for different characters. So we have Thor, we have Black Panther, we have like all kinds, Pikachu, we have anime characters, we have all kinds of so we actually outreach to anybody who can actually offer up different costumes, and that'll be great, right? So we have a variety and choices to choose from. So you need to remember that, you know, in the hospital, we can't really say words like I'll see you again or get well soon or something, even though it might be just very trivia. But you just got to know that sometimes we may not see them again. Sometimes you have to deal with that, and you can't say get well soon, because some of them, they do know that they're not going to get any better. They're just not going to get well soon. And then when you tell them that, right, they get reminded of, you know, the condition they're in, and you know, so the main idea is to get them out of that, right, so that they think positive, and maybe the chances of a recovery is higher, right? So we got to always be mindful. I think the key word here is be mindful. Yeah, because sometimes like, hey, you know, you take a picture of me, then you get discharged earlier, right? Or get discharged. No, don't do that. Don't say that. Don't do this kind of thing, right? Yeah. So we just remember that what you're there for. Of course, we get mocked. Okay. I agree with Jet. We get mocked all the time. Even like sometimes like certain Spider-Mans, I mean, they don't, you know, they don't really work out to get into a Spider-Man bot kind of thing. I understand, right? Because we all have a life and everything, but we don't do this full time, and we are not paid stars like Tom Holland and all that, right? The A grade, the A-listers. So, but the main idea is to remember what you're doing it for, right? So you just have to keep remembering the reason that you're doing it. And it's all for charity, it's all for the children, it's all for that main purpose of spreading joy and bringing, you know, some smiles around, right? So even though you get mocked, I think we get mocked by a lot of people, like public, or even like even the professionals working in there and all that. Yeah, seriously. And we just, sometimes I really can't clip my tongue. I'll just say, oh well, you know, I don't care, because it's just for the kids. As long as the kids are happy, I don't care. I don't care. Right? I mean, like, you are nobody anymore. If you think you can do a better job, you come and do it, right? The suit's yours. I can give it to you. You do a better job. Go ahead, right? So sometimes I can't clip my tongue, and then after I'll be like, should I say that? Oh my god, did I say that? Oh no, right? So I was like, I can't pull it back, right? But then again, it gets people thinking that, you know, don't say stuff like that, right? And it all comes back to school, when I had this well, I came from a Christian brother school, a Catholic school, and this brother actually told me, you know, Chris, I'm going to share with you a life advice. If you remember it for life, it's like, if you have nothing good to say, just keep your mouth shut. So so when there are times where you experience something, or you get caught in a crossfire or whatever, then when you just want to okay, you know, nothing good to say, just keep quiet, right? Yeah, so that's it. But that I do agree that sometimes it gets overboard, and you know, Yeah, when we were trooping around in Mando, what I got people like, is that real Bresca? You know, like then they start kicking, they start knocking, and they start hitting your helmet. Yeah. They, because we can't see very well. We can't see very well. Like the visibility for like, okay, for example, Iron Man is just really like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So it's like it's either you choose the top portion or the bottom portion, right? So Spider-Man is just really like that. Okay, and then for Mando, of course, the vision is also like that, right? And stormtroopers, and the list goes on. So yeah, because of you lack visibility and all. And sometimes when people want to call out to you, they'll know to tap you on the head. They tap your helmet, they knock your helmet. Is this real? And that kind of thing. And then they'll tug at your blasters or something like that. They'll try to snatch your weapons. And I think it happens all the time. So it's just a matter of like, how you handle and how you manage the situation. And of course, that's why we have minders there, because the minders have to be, very experienced as well to help, direct traffic. Hey, don't do that. Hey, buzz off, leave the characters alone, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
don't
So
abuse cosplayers, people. Seriously.
yeah, yes. So you just have to be mindful, yeah, about the things that you say, because you represent not only yourself, but you represent the character that you're playing. So you don't want to be, tarnishing the character's role, or might be their role model for the kids, whatever, and then you might change their opinion, and that's not something that you want to do. You want to destroy their childhood, kind of thing. Yeah,
So I
that's right.
really, yeah, I'm with Jet. I didn't realize that there were a lot of things that were usually said between friends or people that you care for, and then when you go to the hospital with these terminally ill kids, right? And there are things that are just not very very empathetic to say. Um,
That's right.
yeah, it didn't strike me as well until you shared with us just now. But there are things that are just not very nice to say when you're in hospitals visiting children. Do you have any other interesting anecdotes, like funny ones, while you were doing these gigs in cosplay?
Oh, there's more than just funny. I mean, there were some some questionable ones as well. Like, it's like a hello, Mandalorian.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, exactly, right. I was like, whoa, okay, hang on to your horses right there. Stay away from me. And then it's like you walk past, like, hey, Spider Man. It was like, what's going on with these people? Like, what are they thinking about in their heads, right? Like, okay, hi, yeah, stay away from me. And then you just go remember that, okay, you're in character, right? And then sometimes you'll be just very happy that you're in a mask, like nobody knows who you are and everything. And then all of a sudden you become an instant celebrity, like what, Michael Jackson, or Jackson Wang, or like everybody's like crowding around, yeah, I want to take photo, and all that kind of thing. And then after that, when you're out of your costume, right, then you try to be as blending in as possible. You don't have any signs of like, I'm wearing a Mando t-shirt, or it might be me, and all that kind of thing, right? And like you just blend in, and then all of a sudden you become like a nobody again, right?
So, I know we were chatting before the show, right? And you're mentioning that uh, for that, especially hospital visits or visits to children's home or whatever, where they kind of, the authorities or the people inviting you kind of say that there shouldn't be any villains, right? Or bad or scary people, bad, bad people in costumes. But I don't see Darth Vader going around, right, in hospitals, right? So where does that stand, man?
Wow. Actually, the kids nowadays, right? You'll be surprised. Like they actually, there was request for Darth Vader. There was a request for Kylo Ren, and they know, the thing is that they know the stuff. So initially, I have a Black Panther costume as well. So um originally we asked the hospital, with the movie coming out, that was Black Panther 2, right, recently. And then it's like, can we have this variation of going in Black Panther, because we have a Captain America, we have a Iron Man, and we have got a Thor, and we got Spider Gwen and all that, right? So there was a lot of requests for, like, yeah, even Darth Vader and all that kind of. So the hospital's mindset was like, hey, they look scary, they look intimidating. You know, I don't want the kids to be scared, right? And then when Darth Vader parades around, everybody, you know, because there's such
Yeah.
presence, right? Yeah. So so we just really leave it to the hospital to decide, or or whatever charity that we show up for. Of course, like how I remember Tina asked about how did we get into this, right? So let me touch on briefly with that. So mainly when the hospitals agreed, and then it became a trial session run to becoming something permanent, and now we do like monthly shifts, right? And we do have like other independent groups coming in as well. Like there is Pause for Cause, there is other independent group, like there's a clown group that comes in as well. There's an unofficial um Star Wars as well. There's an unofficial Star Wars, not just 501. So sometimes 501 can't get people. And of course, like the main gist of it is because for hospital you need to have your vaccinations done. Not I'm not talking about your COVID vaccinations. So we have actually gotten like the Tdap, which is tetanus jab. That's one jab. Then we got the varicella, which is two jabs. That's for chickenpox. If you have chickenpox before, you just have to verify it with the doctor and give you there's a record and everything, and then you submit it for approval. And we have MMR. So MMR is mumps, measles, and rubella. So that's another 2 shots. So on top of your COVID 3 shots minimum, you have to get another 5 shots. So in total, we have 8. So in order to tell people like, hey, you want to come in, you don't want to do charity for the hospitals or the wards and all that kind of, you need these 8 shots, right? Oh no, a lot of people be like, oh no, I don't think I want to do this because this is too much. This is too much. So again, we can't force people. We just say, if you want to do it, if you know you're going to do it, this is the requirement. So a lot of people, I'm glad to admit, they say, the children go through more than what these jabs can actually do to us, right? And it's anyway, most of them would have done it in current day and time, because MMR and varicella, I think it's a compulsory in schools now, right? So most of them would have gotten it. So Tdap lasts for 10 years. And I don't know why, because I also question the hospital. Why do we need a tetanus jab? We are not dealing with metal or anything. But of course, it's just a requirement, so we don't no question. They have no idea as well, but it was just a requirement by Ministry of Health. And then we just do it lah. All right. So with that filter, to have the vaccinations done, we are the pool of resources that we have of cosplayers actually has gone down quite a bit. So we are talking about as many as 70%. So we only left with a pool of 30% of cosplayers that willing to do it. Then again, because the hospital rounds are usually done on weekdays, all right, weekends, I mean, no brainer. Most of them would have time. So weekdays, can people actually take time off or to take leave from the office, or have flexible working hours to do this? Again, so then the pool of 30% comes 10% because of timing, right? And out of 10%, again, yeah, so we just have very minimal resources from there. And then, of course, with that in mind, when you start with KKH, then there was a Make-A-Wish Foundation that comes in. We got referred over to Make-A-Wish Foundation. We got referred over to like Cancer Society. We got referred over to NUH, which they are also kind of planning in a pipeline whether it's feasible for their premises. And then also we reach out to Red Cross and a lot of other organizations in society that comes in. And that's where you springboard. So there's Project Give. Project Give is a combination of all the like a few hospitals with a few independent charitable or organizations that come together to just want to give back to the disabled children, or special children with special needs. So they organize a lot of events and mingle sessions with them, because now we are kind of opening up. So I think that's a very, very good initiative. So you just have to start somewhere, and you just remember the main goal of why you're doing it for and what you're doing it for. And I think you open up a lot of doors to a lot of different possibilities. So even like less fortunate families might want to approach you to do birthday appearance for their loved ones or something like that. Yeah. And then they have a lot of requests like, do you have anime characters? Do you have cartoon characters? Do you have Star Wars, you have and the list goes on and on and on and on, right? So it's just how much space your house has and how much costumes are you willing to make and build. Yeah,
So
so the list goes on. Yeah.
the first one where you were just having fun with um, this one.
Don't let the clown group meet back. I know why.
Yeah.
But the clown group is just they go in and then they make balloons and all that. Oh wow. Hey, that's me.
Yes, is that your latest costume or just for fun?
That is my latest costume because there are some friends that say, hey, your hair actually you can pull off Anakin Skywalker. And I said, okay, let's go and visit the dark side. Then let's go. So that's what I did. So right now, Kid Sabers is piecing together my Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. So you'll be ready in about another 1 week. Kid, if you're listening, hurry up.
And when are you gonna debut this costume?
Well, interesting enough, right? So that costume is not sanctioned. It's not official, right? So I'm speaking to Kit, and Kit was willing to try and hook me up with the Rebel Legion. Yeah, the
So
Rebel Legion.
a
Yeah.
thing
So I mean,
of
yeah,
the
I mean
force.
it's kind of so the good thing about Anakin Skywalker's character is that he can actually be in both. He can appear in 501. He can appear in the Rebel Legion. He can appear in the Jedi, and yeah. So I think it's quite a flexible character. Best
I
of
do know
all worlds.
you are really mostly in Spider-Man though. And I've seen quite a few of
Okay, why Spider-Man? Because we do get a lot of requests. Okay, when you cater to the generic kids, right? You have to think about the girls, the little girls, the female genre, right? That Spider-Man is a character that they can relate to very
it's
very much.
to relate
Yeah,
to.
so Star Wars is mainly like the male kids, the boys, right? So the girls, they either go with the princesses and all that, and or Disney characters, or sometimes they do go with cartoon characters like Pikachu, Stitch, and Buzz Lightyear and all that from Toy Story and all that. Um, but then again, you have to have something that is of both gender friendly, right? So you may show up in a princess, but it doesn't appeal to the boys, right? Then they're like, you want to take photo? No, I don't want. Right? Then it's like you're down to like, oh shit, like you're only catering for the girls, right? The little girls. And then you come in as the superheroes like Thor and all that, right? So it's a little bit more um towards the boys' favorite, right? And then again, then the girls feel left out. No, I don't want. He looks intimidating. He's so scary. Why the muscles so big? That kind of thing. So the the most friendly character, will you believe it, is Spider-Man, because Spider-Man, there's a really a sense of attachment from the boys and the girls. So what you get is like a variety of different Spider-Man. So myself, I have about 6 Spider-Man costumes, different variants. Sorry, and then with the movie of Spider-Verse coming out, it's getting very very popular, right? And now we always I I jumped right in right there. Yeah, so that's the Scarlet Spider. It's also not cheap. This whole Spider-Man costume is 4 figures. I won't go into details with that. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's not your typical like okay. Many people have the mindset that, oh, Spider-Man costume is very easy. You can go Shopee and buy, but
Mm,
you can really tell the quality of the
quality, yeah,
costumes
the
if it's
stitching, everything.
if it's made or it's just off the rack, right? Off the rack is just, trust me, is really horrible. I have experimented with both, and the off the rack one doesn't really quite cut it. You might have holes here and there that you rip when you are doing the when you hold when you're doing the, because it all boils down to the quality and the stitching, you see. So most of the time, the off the rack one, I mean, you're paying like what, $20, $25, or some even $50. You can't expect very much out of it. It's like probably like maybe a Halloween costume party or costume party, kind of wear one and then you throw away kind. yeah, so you gotta be mindful of that lah. So if you really want to go into this seriously, then I suggest that you know what you're getting into and go the proper path, go the proper channel, get the right people to help you. There's many many out there that are willing to
Mm,
to guide you along your journey, because initial part I also struggled, but thankfully I met the right mindset of people that come along, and they're very very helpful, they very insightful, and that's why what I've gone through, I'm sharing it right now with this session about stuff like you don't get normal people telling you.
yeah.
So I'm just sharing a little bit more in depth. So if you want to pick up a character, yeah, work towards that character, study the character a little bit more, because you remember you are representing that character and that metaphor. So when you go in and you got to be in character.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
more than just smile, wave, and take photos. No, you gotta know how to interact, and when you interact with the kids, you need to interact the right way. Yeah, so like if it's in Din Djarin, of course, the voice you have to. Where's
Mhm.
growth? Do you have a problem with my bluster or something like that, right? So you need to be in character.
Mm.
Yeah,
How do you learn how to pose according to the character and
exactly. So that's where I elaborated that you really need to study the character. It's very important. The mannerisms of the character, the poses, the way they talk, the way they behave. um and yeah, you got to reply them to the best that you can, your best of your ability to mimic the character, so that you don't shatter people's dreams by thinking that why this Spider-Man so rude, right? Why this Spider-Man don't bother about me, right? And that kind of thing. You That's the last thing you ever want, because they look up to them like a figure of hope. They look to the figure of a role model, and then when nothing disappoints them more than a role model not meeting to their standards, right, or their expectations. Am I right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So how do people get hold of you though? I mean, because I don't seem to find a public social media account that
that's
you
the
have.
thing. So like I stick very strongly with what I say, like it's important what you do, it's not important who you are. So
Yeah.
I try to keep it very quiet and very personal.
Mm,
So when I go out there and I do it, I don't go around, hey, it's me, hey, it's me. No, right? I will just go there, get the job done, and we leave. So like for example, there are a lot of invitations as well, like when we do like birthday appearances and all that kind of thing. The parents and the hosts are very nice. Actually, they invited us in. Hey, you can join in. You can take the food. You can eat. Right. So normally we don't eat before we do appearance, for the obvious, right? We want to
of
maintain
course.
our shape and all that. Um, and then yeah, we are actually going for a mission. We are not there to enjoy the party, because you got to remember that, right? And then last but not least, we always request for a room where we can actually prepare, get ourselves ready, get dressed up and suit up and all that kind of thing. It's a very normal procedure.
Mm,
So what we do is we come in there, we will deal with the coordinator. Nobody sees us enter the room. They'll
mm,
just tell us where the room is.
mm,
We'll suit up there, everything. We'll keep watch of time. We'll have one minder minimum. And then minor is to keep watch of time and maintain peace and order. And then after that, we will go in, we'll do our appearances. Usually can last from like 45 minutes to an hour, depending on which costume. Iron Man maximum can last about 45 minutes, because it's also very hot, and visibility is low and mobility is also very low. Mando, about 45 minutes or so to an hour. All right. Spider-Man, the record, I was in Spider-Man for 6 hours, because we
oh
got
yeah,
hijacked.
yeah.
Yeah, we got hijacked
This
for the
story.
Jewel Disney 100 event. We got hijacked from all the way from the top floor, level 6, all the way down to where the fountain is, and then the toilet is just right there, but we just can't get there. It took us 45 minutes to get to less than 50 meters distance. So yeah, so then again, when you go in there, you do your stuff, and then we get out, and nobody knows who we are, because we will quietly vacate and we move out of the area, and anything is all corresponded through um you know handphone or WhatsApp or messaging or whatever, that we will tell the host that,
How can
hey,
people contact your group? how can people contact your group if they are interested in
Okay, I get where you're going with this. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, you can I can leave the group's page around, and you can get in touch with the group through the page, or yeah, there's a
maybe,
Facebook page that which I will share with you,
yeah, yeah.
and
I
then
think
you just put it up.
if there's someone out there who might really find this very useful to them in some way or other, and then help to bring some cheer to some other uh, groups of people that we may not be aware of or do not have the reach at the moment. I
Right.
thought that might be useful. So just to bring more
Well,
positive
how about this? We can direct all the traffic to red.diva, and then red.diva knows where to get us.
vision, is it?
That'll be good, right? That'll be good, right? So yeah, you become our filter. Yes, everybody, if you want to get in touch with us, we have a whole list of cosplayers. I mean, now I'm doing the marketing stuff, right? So yeah, we have a whole list of different characters, different walks of life, and whatever it is. If any way that we can pick up your life for just that little moment, let us know. Get in touch with red.diva, and then we will be in.
Yeah,
All right, good.
I'll definitely share if you ask.
All right, yeah, sure. And then
Coming,
you gotta be part of us, right? You gotta be our minder, right?
I'll be
I
the
have to
mind.
get you involved too. I mean, get you some brownie points.
We're coming, to the 1 hour point. As I said, once we start chatting, it just moves so quickly. Uh, Thank you so much for your time, Christopher.
Most welcome. I'm happy to do it.
Slow down for a while. Just, you don't know what's coming up.
Sure.
And, then, and I'll bring you back on it.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry for the mic problem at my end, but thanks for hanging in there if you've come to this point, either during the live stream, hello Jack, or after the live stream. This video will still be available in the Red Dot Diva Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So you can still watch it after we close today's session. And I will try to let you know uh, when will be the next live with Red Dot Diva. I'll try to do it at least maybe in another 2 months' time. There'll be a guest, and I'm currently still in the process of inviting people. But it will definitely be an interesting guest. I have a few in mind, and that's according to that is agree to what to say yes and come on screen and say hi to you guys. But stay in tune on my social media for the next announcement. In the meantime, I'm gonna get Chris back on screen. Thank you, Chris. I think you have very interesting insights. Some many things that I didn't even realize. I have
Yeah.
cross friends. I have file first friends. But some of the things that you mentioned really were very interesting, and I'm learning some of these things from you as well. So it's been a very interesting session today.
This is
Thank
the
you
way.
for your time with us, and thanks for the audience as well. Hope to see you again next
Yeah.
time
Thanks,
and
Jet. Thank you very much. You're most
thanks
welcome.
again for spending your time with us.
Yeah,
Marian,
yeah. If you have any other further questions, if you like me to answer to you, you can just direct it to red.diva.
anybody has any questions after you've watched this video, once we close the live session, do post it, on the same post that you're watching either on Facebook or YouTube, and I will definitely try to pick it up and move it, like forward it to Christopher if it's a very specific question that you need an answer for. So thank you
Yes.
everyone. See you next time.
And hope to
Bye.
see everybody on board if you guys want to do something good. So just reach out, all right? And I'll be happy to guide you along the way.
Bye.
Thank you. This is the way.
This is the way.